Hi, Sandra here, the Misophonia therapist. And today's video, I am going to pose the question, what would your life be like without misophonia? And I do love to ask my clients this question. So I thought I would do a little video about why I think it's an important question to try and answer if you can. So many of the people that I help think that the problem is something to be solved in order for them to live happier lives. But what if the problem itself was not as relevant as you think it is? So imagine what your life would be like if you no longer had misophonia. Many of you would be saying, yeah, wow, that would be just a wonderful, perfect. I'd be so happy to no longer have any triggers. Everything would be great. I'd feel great. So I could just feel normal or whatever. And when you imagine your misophonia no longer existing, disappearing, or even diminishing a little, what difference does this actually make to you? We often don't think about the absence of the problem. Now, perhaps you could see yourself eating meals with your family or not needing to wear headphones all day long. And we're just going to use those two as an example. So if you could eat your meals with your family, how would that impact your life? Would you notice that your relationships were better? Would you feel less isolated? Or perhaps nothing much would change at all because your family relationships are actually more complicated and maybe misophonia was just the perfect excuse to avoid them. It's all good insight. So if you no longer had to shut yourself away from the world with your headphones just to get some peace, what would you be doing instead? What other things would change if you didn't wear those headphones? Again, maybe you would feel more connected to others, to your environment. You might notice that some sounds that you miss that are actually quite enjoyable, or that you're surprised by how much you don't notice the triggers as much as you thought you would. So when you try to imagine your life without the problem, you can gain important insights into what is possible or what you would like to be possible. And in this way, your brain does give you an opportunity to become focused on the different possibilities, no matter how far-fetched they seem, or they could be quite subtle. Now, if you've spent a lot of your life being defined by your problem or ruled by it, this can seem very hard. And the other important aspect of imagining life without the problem is that it can really help you to start to see a solution or some solutions, especially when you realize how much misophonia steals from you. So what other ways could you achieve the same outcomes? So for example, if you identify that you would feel closer to your family by eating with them, maybe there are other ways that you can improve your connection, your communication. So shifting away from problem thinking is often difficult because we have trained our minds to be obsessed with our problems. It's an old survival process that dates back to early humans. We have to identify risk, and it's always important to be mindful how we will avoid that risk in order to survive. But when we start to focus more on what we actually want and use the power of our imagination to find ways to support us, it can be very empowering. So put simply, you really do get more of what you focus on if you give yourself an opportunity. I hope this makes sense, and I'll be back tomorrow with more content. Bye for now.